Hey guys, I hope that you guys are doing amazing wherever you are in the world. My name is Boom Shikha, and as always, I welcome you to my channel and to all of the different INFJ stuff that I speak about. I do live in the jungle, so you'll probably hear birds and random stuff behind, like in the background. Just ignore it, as I do always. It's just like white noise to me now. In this video, I wanted to speak to you guys about how INFJs are natural scholars, and sometimes in this world where people don't care about learning, sometimes we can actually be berated for it or put down for it. And I really, really want to share this with you guys because I don't want you guys to change yourself because someone else is telling you that you're being an idiot for watching, or for reading, or for learning, right? It's really weird because as a girl, as a female, as an Indian woman, I guess, or an Indian girl, I was always reprimanded by other people, not my parents. My parents were amazing. They always wanted me to learn. They always wanted me to grow. My mom is the one who introduced me to reading, and she loves to read herself. And I got my love of reading from her and my love of learning from both of them. My parents, they love to read and learn as well. So they were awesome and they're great, and I love them for that. But the rest of the world was really odd. And so for me, I'd always have a book in my hand, no matter where I was. I'd be sitting in a bus and I'd be reading. I'd be sitting in a train, I'd be reading. I'd be standing by a car, waiting for someone, and I'd be reading. I always carried a book around with me. It was just one of those things, like a security blanket, I guess. I loved to read, and sometimes when I got into a book, I really just didn't want to stop, but I had to go to places and I had to meet people, and so I'd carry my book around with me. I remember this one time I was traveling in India with my mom's family, and I had just started this really amazing book called Shantaram. I still remember the book. It's amazing. Seriously, one of the best books in India and about the slums in India, in Mumbai, called Dharavi. And really, if you have the patience for it, it's a huge book, but it's so worth it, called Shantaram. And so I was reading that book, and it was just fascinating to me. I just could not put it down. Really, seriously, I was taking it everywhere. If I could, I would have taken it into the shower with me. And so I was sitting in the car with my family, and we were going on this trip, and we were going to do a tour of a 5,000-year-old ruin, beautiful, beautiful ruin in near Gujarat. And so we're in the car, and I'm reading. Obviously, I'm reading while the car is moving, and I hate that because I get sick when I read in the car. But I could not stop. I could not put the book down. So I'm reading, 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 and then we stopped because there was a flat tire. And so I'm like, yes, awesome, I have some time to read. And so we're stopped on the side of the road. The driver is fixing the tire, and I'm just sitting by the side of the road on the dirt, sitting. I don't care where I am. I'm just sitting and reading. I'm like, thank God there's enough light to read. Eventually, it became dark, and I could not read anymore. And I was like, I wish I had a flashlight to read, but I couldn't. And I had to put the book down, obviously, because it was too dark. And my family said to me, what's wrong with you? Why are you reading? Aren't you done with school already? Like, why do you care about reading so much? And it was really weird to me because I felt embarrassed by that, actually. I was thinking to myself, am I crazy? Maybe I shouldn't be reading so much. Maybe I shouldn't care about this so much. Maybe, because I was still much younger at that point, and I let other people dictate, what I was doing, or I listened to other people's opinions of me. Now I don't care, but in the past I did, and I was thinking to myself, is this... I was traveling in India, and I was reading this book about India, not really living in the moment. And so, I did put my books down for a couple of days while I was hanging out with this family because they really didn't like it. And for them, not that I'm saying that they are backward in any way, because both of their daughters are doctors and stuff like that, but for them, learning is just about, you go to school, you learn, and that's it. And then the rest of your time, you just relax, you spend time with family, you don't read books, you don't learn after you're done with school. And I think that kind of perception is very prominent in a lot of society, because even now, when I read a lot or I learn a lot, I'm always taking courses online. I mean, we're so lucky. There's so many free courses online that you can take for just for nothing, for free. I mean, come on, like from all these amazing universities. Why wouldn't I take advantage of this? But of course, the same thing applies, because a lot of people look at me and they're like, why do you work so hard? Why are you trying so hard? Why are you studying all the time? Why do you have to? You don't have to. You have a job. Why don't you just relax a little bit? Why don't you just have fun? And I think to myself, this is fun. Learning is fun. And I want you guys to realize that this is the whole aspect of the world that we're living in, where we live in an extroverts world. We live in an ESTJ's world. Most of the world is an ESTJ, which is the kind of world, or the kind of people who want to go out in the world, are sensors. They don't want to spend their time reading. They don't want to spend their time being intuitive. They want to go out and do sensing things. Go out to football games, go to basketball games, go out to a restaurant to eat, go axe throwing, go do things like that, go play baseball, things like that, that kind of stuff. Whereas we, as INFJs, want to sit at home and read, or learn, or take courses or things like that. And so we are kind of, this connection between where the world that we live in and the people that we're surrounded by and the kind of person we are. And so there will be moments in time where your natural scholarly nature will be reprimanded, you'll be put down, and you'll be made fun of because you're like, well, why are you studying? I mean, I'm 34 years old. I don't need to study anymore, I guess. I have a job and I have skills. I can marketable skills that I can use in order to get a job if I wanted to. So I don't need to study anymore, really, if you think about it. But I'm not studying for the sake of getting a job or making more money or doing all that stuff. It's not for that. It's for myself. The stuff I study about, psychology, handwriting analysis based on someone's comment. I started looking into that. Motivation, self-help stuff like entrepreneurship, meditation, things that are really, really fascinating to me. I recently got a message from this person about pineal glands, and I started looking into that. So every single time something fascinates me, I kind of grab onto that and I start studying about it. It's for me. It's not for someone else. There's nothing that I can actually use in the real world. Like, okay, I'm an expert on pineal glands, so pay me a lot of money to help you out or something. No, it's not going to work like that, right? It will not work like that, and it shouldn't work like that, because these things are for me. I'm learning about them not so I can become this awesome human being that has all these things to say in a conversation. No, because most of the stuff I study about, I can't bring up in real conversation because people are going to think I'm crazy, right? So not for them, it's for me. And that's what a natural scholar is all about. Like, I love learning about the stuff that really fascinates me. And even if I never speak to anyone about it, I don't need to. It's for myself. Because I can walk through the world, and if I've been studying beetles and I see a particular beetle and I think to myself, oh, I know that beetle, I know what it does, I know what it eats, blah, 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 blah. And that really gives me a lot of pleasure. Or I'm walking through the world and I see this culture, this new culture that I'm enamored with, and I see them do something and I'm like, oh, I know why they do that. That's part of their culture. That really gives me a lot of pleasure. Just knowing something about something that maybe not a lot of people know about, but or maybe they do, I don't really care, but I know about it, and something that really interests me and I know more about it, it makes me so happy. And again, as I've said to you guys, living in this world right now where we are living in the world of Google. I mean, we can Google anything instantaneously and know the answer to what ails us. Why does this work this way? Well, just Google it and you will figure out the answer. And that really is the fascinating thing about the world that we live in. We love this kind of world where we can just go in and we can study something and become minor or semi-experts on it, because that's how we do things. If I love something, like the MBTI thing, like I love it and I am fascinated by it. I'm so always studying it. I'm always reading up on it. And so we kind of become semi-experts on the things that fascinate us. Same thing with meditation. I'm fascinated by meditation. So obviously I'm always meditating, but I'm always reading up on it too. The same thing with motivation and psychology. I love the topic of it. And so I'm always reading up on it. I'm always studying up on it. I'm always trying to figure out how I can motivate myself more, how I can become a better human being, how I can self-actualize myself better, things like that, right? And so don't let the world bring you down or put you down for being a natural scholar. In fact, this is, I think, one of our positive traits and one of our strengths, I think, really, because we are living in a world where the world is moving very fast, right? It keeps on moving faster and faster, faster. More information is being gathered into the world at a faster rate than ever. But most people are still stuck in the dark ages. They don't want to learn, they don't want to grow, they don't want to move forward. Whereas in INFJ, we're the first people who adopt anything new, because we're like, yeah, cool, we'll learn about it. If we like it, we'll adopt it. We're the first adopters. And so as the world moves faster and faster, we're the ones who keep on moving faster and faster with it, because we keep on learning about the world at the fast rate that it moves at, right? We don't let it catch us blind. We're not just sitting there in the background thinking, oh, everything's going to be fine, everything's going to be exactly the same, and all of a sudden something changes and we lose our job. That kind of stuff doesn't happen to us because we're constantly paying attention. We're always on the pulse of the world. We're always looking out and figuring out, okay, how does this work? And how can I make myself better? And if I'm doing marketing, how can I become a better marketer? Or if I'm cooking or I'm a chef, how can I bring more interesting ingredients into the place? Or if I'm working in the hospitality industry, how can I make my customer service better? We're always thinking about these kind of things, and we're always trying to improve ourselves because we know that the world is always changing and we have to keep pace with it. Otherwise, what's going to happen? We're going to be left behind. We're going to lose our jobs. We're going to be sitting in the dark ages, whereas the world keeps on moving forward. Whereas most people will not do that, right? So it's one of our strengths, and I don't want you guys to either put yourself down for it or let other people do that to you. Okay? All right. I hope this makes sense to you guys. I just really wanted to share this with you guys because I've been noticing people doing that to me and how it feels on my end when people put me down for studying, for learning about things that I really care about. I'm like, why do you guys really give a shit about this? But I wanted to share this with you so that, hopefully I can help you guys eliminate that nonsense. Again, thank you so much for watching, for listening, for subscribing. And if you guys have any questions at all, I'm always here to answer, and I reply to all questions. So if you guys have any questions or any messages to send me, all my contact information is in the description below. All right? And I shall see you guys in the next video. Bye for now.